Good morning, everybody. Very nice to see you here. My name is Rodolpho, and I'm head of marketing at Tandem. Today, I'm going to talk to you about the user acquisition journey that we had this year, how influencer completely reshaped this journey, and the exciting journey we're about to take next year. But first, let's take a look into today's language landscape. There's a lot of apps out there that are very successful into helping millions of users to learn a new language by teaching them vocabulary, grammar, phrase structure. But if you really want to improve your language and get to a point where you can actually be native, you have to practice. That's the only way if you really want to succeed into your language skills. And this is what Tandem is all about. Tandem is a freemium app that connects the world through languages. And what we do, we are essentially connecting you with native speakers of the language you're trying to learn so that you can teach each other languages. That's a fun and exciting way to learn a new language. Earlier this year, we started user acquisition. And what we did is that, as many of others, I believe, we used generic creatives. So generic videos, generic banners, generic stories, everything you can think of. It was pretty successful. However, we asked this question to ourselves: how can we make it more exciting? How can we make our ads more relevant in general? So we did a lot of research over the internet. We were looking at the best practices of user acquisition. And this is when we came to the topic of influencers. But we said at that point that going into this new topic was not yet what we should do. We should first focus on our performance marketing creative. And while we did all of those research, we actually came across one video made by one of our users that we found on the internet. And we just looked at this video and what the guy was telling to his community, how Tandem helped him to improve his language, how Tandem experience was for him to his community. And we thought, wow, this guy is amazing, actually. So what we did is that we looked all over the internet, trying to look for other potential videos. And we were so surprised to see how many videos our users have been creating on their own and how accurate they were. Let me present you Yana, who's from the United States, talking to her her TikTok followers, sorry.
So this app is called Tandem, and what it does is it matches you with somebody that is a native speaker of the language you're trying to learn, and then vice versa. What's really cool is you get to practice with somebody that actually speaks the language and is usually from the country of origin of the language you're trying to learn.
And what's so cool to see there is how authentic the video is, how accurate the video is. So after looking, this is just 4 videos that we found, but if you look #Tandem app on social media, you will actually find a lot of them. And we thought, this content is just so good. What can we do with this content actually to leverage our paid user acquisition? And so what we did is that we get in touch with all of the users that we could find who actually published videos on their social media talking about Tandem. And what we did is that we came to an agreement with them, so that we could get the original video and publish them onto all our user acquisition channels. And what was quite interesting to see here is the fact that all of those humanified creative were actually performing really well compared to the generic one. So we asked ourselves, what can we do next? Because essentially taking videos that are already existing by all users may not be a long-term strategy. So what we did there is essentially we have been in touch with an agency called Remt, who is an influencer agency who helped us to look for influencers. The goal that we wanted to achieve was to test several kinds of verticals, several kinds of channels to see what kind of message would resonate the most. So what we did is that we actually had a bunch of influencers coming from Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, from various kinds of verticals. When it comes to the vertical, our goal was just to see the kind of creative the influencer would come up with, but not really about the audience that each of those influencers would have. And what was quite amazing to see is the amount of videos that we come up with. But before that, just to tell you a bit more context, what we did told to our influencers, we just wanted them to have like a full freedom, full creativity on the end format of what they wanted to do. The only thing we asked them to do was to show the app on their phone, to also include the link to a universal link that would take the user from the video to the stores, and force, we actually provided them with a say that the first 100 users to click on the link would actually get a 50% discount over Tandem Pro. And so we received like a lot of videos from those influencers, which were actually like really good to see because it was actually super engaging content, very various kind of content. And what we wanted to do there, in terms of planning, is that we wanted to release one video per week per market maximum, just so that in the event where a user would actually look at the video, but not necessarily click on the link, but go directly onto the store, we wanted to be able to see the organic uplift that each influencer would bring. But like, as you know, when you've got influencers campaign, the intent from the end user to download the app is lower. So although we had really good delivery, although we had a lot of engagement on the videos, we could see that the install rate was slightly lower than on other channels, such as like the performance marketing that we had running or the organic ones. And so we asked this question, what can we do to maximize the install rate? Every week, we've got interviews with our user just to understand them better, to see who they are. And what we did is that we actually spoke to a lot of users who came from influencers to try to understand the potential limitation that they had, how was they feeling when they saw like an ad from an influencer. And what was quite interesting to see is the fact they were actually very frustrated. Frustrated by the fact that when they saw an offer that only the first 100 users would get, they were not even guaranteed of having this promo at the end. Something else as well is that they were expecting to have a bit more context and having a more personalized journey than actually just being redirected to the store. So what we did is that we removed this urgency, and what we did as well is that we introduced landing pages to the flow. Let me show you what does it look like. So at first, the user would actually look at a video, and each video would contain a link to the Tandem website, which also includes the 50% discount for everybody this time. Second, they were redirecting to a Tandem landing page. What is also quite important to notice is that we strongly believe that by actually having a link to your website, it builds more trust than having a universal link to the store. And so each influencer were provided with a fully customized landing page that includes the influencer picture, their names, as well as rephrases of the offer and the 50% discount. And then we wanted to take then those users onto the App Store. What was quite interesting to see is that in just a few weeks, we have been able to reduce our costs drastically, but more important than that, we have been able to increase our install rate by 10 by just using this little trick. So it's quite amazing to see what you can do just listening to our users and what you can bring and the results you can then get to. Now let me introduce you to Jose. Jose is one of our influencers that we've been working with. Let me show you a preview of his video.
La aplicación se llama Tandem. Yo he conocido tipas que me han dicho que por esa aplicación están así porque, ajá, tampoco son sugar, es gente normal. Esa aplicación es para tú agarrar e intercambiar idiomas con otra gente. O sea, tú quieres aprender su idioma y él quiere aprender el tuyo.
What's quite amazing to see with Jose, who's also, by the way, one of our users, is the fact that his video went viral. In just 24 hours, it reached 1.5 million views and up to 12 million views in just 2 weeks, which is quite amazing to see because essentially having your videos going viral is pretty much the marketer dream. It's like winning the lottery. You never know what's going to happen, and boom, you got it. And what we've seen with Jose was actually quite interesting. Just so you know, at Tandem, we've got quite a long onboarding. And we have a long onboarding on purpose, because what we want to make sure is that every new users coming into the community get the intent of learning a new language, and they are not here for any other purposes. And what we saw in the case of Jose, basically about 24 hours after he launched his video, was the fact that a lot of the users installed the app but did not complete the onboarding. As it was a bit frustrating for us to see how viral the video went, but still not yet fully converting, we actually got in touch with Jose once again the day after and asked him to do an onboarding tutorial about Tandem. And what was quite good to see was taking all of the users who actually started the onboarding process but did not complete it. And what happened is that many of those users got re-engaged and came back into the app with a higher intent. So that was actually quite a success there. I think another part of the success here is the fact that Jose was one of our users. With all of the other influencers that we have been working with, some of them were users, some of them were not. Although it was nothing that we were looking at, but we identified that with Jose, the fact that he was our user, he had something in difference, and this is what we have been able to analyze. Whenever we have an influencer who is also a user, they actually already know your brand and values really well, where a non-user influencer may sometimes be not very accurate in the way they present your app. A user influencer actually relates and brings fun facts about their Tandem experience, which also increase the engagement towards a video, while a non-user sometimes tends to be a bit generic in the way they speak about the app. And then third, user get this little spark, this little thing on top that a non-user does not have. And so taking from there, we ask ourselves, okay, so what can we do now that we know that users influencers are working really well and non-users not necessarily that much? And this is when the topic of community-led growth comes into play. We ask ourselves, how can we make sure that our users could actually bring more users? And that's actually a way of getting new users pretty much in a very good way. And what happens there is that by asking ourselves, what can we do to leverage those installs, we actually came across the topic of user-generated content. And what we did is that we ran a few tests. We sent emails directly to all users asking them if they had any previous experience with social media, or if they had any previous experience with just creating videos, and if they would be up for the challenge of creating videos for Tandem. And what was quite surprising to see is, once again, to see how good the community is, because we received a lot of videos, and let me show you one of them from Ray from the United States.
I've been using Tandem for about 5 years now. Tandem is like my door to the world. On the same day, I can talk to my friend from Colombia, or meet someone new from Spain, or even talk to one of my teacher friends from Brazil.
I love Ray. I think Ray is quite amazing in the way he speaks, and it's definitely have this little spark, this little thing is just I just want to be part of that community. So what we are planning to do for next year is essentially switching completely every kind of creative that we have to only work with our own user to create creatives. Whether they are influencers or not, we actually really want to embrace our community and then to be even more proud of being part of the Tandem experience. And so what we are going to do is essentially to replace all of those creatives to really work with the communities, so for them, they could actually drive even more attention to the app and bring more users by talking to their own community and bring them in this goal of making the language learner community even larger. So all in all, I think it's really important to know your users and what they need, but what's even more powerful is to actually empower your user to bring more users. And I think this is the key to success, and I cannot wait in a year from now, the next Promotion Summit, to talk to you about the journey we would have next year and how everything worked out. Thank you.